Thank you so much for coming in this sort of awful weather that is trailing me across the country, or I'm trailing it, or causing it, I don't know. I'm also really excited to be at Books and Books. I still do some journalism, and about a year ago, magazine editor called me up and she said, "Do you want to do a piece about sort of the best destination bookstores, independent bookstores in the country?" I'm like, yeah. And I don't know what any of these bookstores would be, so I called the book reps that I work with, and they all gave me 50,000 suggestions, and I wrote them down. And Books and Books is one of the must-visit places, of course. And now here I am. So I often start this tour talk by sort of stating what I think is kind of obvious, given what's going to go on after I'm done reading. But If I Stay is a book full of music, and when I set out to write it, it's not like I said, oh, I'm going to do a book that's going to sort of have lots of musical references and musical metaphors and songs in it. It was just that the character who arrived in my mind was a cellist, which was kind of news to me because I didn't know the first thing about the cello or about classical music, but that's who she was, and so that's who I wrote. And the characters who are around her are mostly sort of pop and indie rock types, and so it just seemed that music kind of infiltrated the book in every which way, not just that everybody was a musician and talked about music and song references popped up, but it's just almost the way that Mia perceives the world is very musical. And I didn't really realize that I had done this until afterwards, until we started showing the book to people, or people started reading the book and commenting back. And one of the things that resonated so much with people was the music in the book. So when it came time to come and do a tour, I thought I'd try and do something a little bit different, which is that instead of just reading a passage, I wanted to find certain passages throughout the book that would give you kind of a sense of the sort of arc of the book without giving too much away if you haven't read it. And also have music in them and play the music along with the readings. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm looking forward to the music that comes later. But hopefully you will not be too lost. I'll give you a couple of little sort of cheat notes to start with, which is the way the book is structured. It takes place in one sort of very harrowing period, 24-hour period of Mia's life. And it flashes back and forth between the present tense and these flashbacks of her past. And you'll know it's the present tense for two reasons. Number one, I will tell you the time of day. It also tells you in the book. And also because what's going on in the present will be very, very, very specific and very particular and kind of intense. And you'll know it's a flashback because it will not be that, and it'll be some sort of random thing that's going on with other people. So hopefully that will help orient you. The other thing you should know is that as we start reading what's going on, is school has been canceled because it snowed. About half an inch of snow, which in Oregon is enough to shut down schools. So I think that that's enough to hopefully let you know what's going on without giving too much away.